Hello, community. Welcome to a very, very, very special episode of our tea party. We are here live with a human being, my very, very first official tea party guest. We are talking to Gus Heagerty. Did I say that right?
Heagerty.
Shit. Today, we are talking to Gus Heagerty, who you may know from his videos about being a Long Island mom who's going through something, or perhaps you know him from being a bro who can't stop juggling while you're trying to have a very serious conversation, or perhaps you know him from my absolute favorite series of all, which is someone who is a little bit too serious about their astrology. But that's for all of us, that's for the girls. But did you also know that Gus is a true comedian, an actor, and director? He recently had a reoccurring role in NBC's Stumble. He performed stand-up with Nick Kroll in Los Angeles, sip that, and he even directed some performances at the Kennedy Center, which is very tea. But now we want to know, who really is Gus? Who is he energetically and spiritually and in his true essence? And that's exactly what we're going to find out. So welcome Gus to our tea party.
Thank you, Aliza. It's a true honor to be here and an honor to be the first guest at the tea party.
So I love what you're wearing.
Thank you.
Can you tell me about your outfit?
Yes, these pieces come from a past life of mine. I think they were probably me as a Victorian woman, stumbling through the gardens, collecting flowers, having tea with a girlfriend, and then journaling furiously all night because I'm a water moon. So need to get the feelings out. And then the gloves sort of send me into an importance of being earnest world. Oscar Wilde. Like we're having cucumber sandwiches, we're having the tea, which you've served. So that's where these come from. And they were just here when I arrived, which I think tells me a lot about your understanding of me, that you laid the clothes out and I was drawn to certain attire, the hat and the gloves.
I love how the hat is tilting further and further.
Yes. Just askew.
Just askew.
Yeah.
Just askew enough to remember where we come from.
That's right.
And to signal the fact that we have one foot in this reality and another somewhere else.
That's right.
Which is
Absolutely.
Exactly where we want to be when we're having tea.
Yeah.
So yes, I love the attire. I think that you look beautiful, and it's really an honor to have you here as my very first guest.
I'm honored. Your attire is flawless, obviously. The fingerless gloves are sending me. They're beautiful.
Yeah, so fingerless gloves are really very edgy.
Yes.
Is it giving emo?
It's giving a little emo. I mean, that's our reference for it. Like a cultural reference we have would be like Hot Topic, like you live journal at night. I mean, there's some like sex appeal to that because it's showing a little more skin than what I'm showing. And
Yes,
so
well, this is right. This is what, watch out, you know?
Yeah, watch out. Like
watch
she
out.
has nails.
She has nails.
Yeah, she scratches too.
She has fingers.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gus, how we're going to begin our tea party is, I like to say this thing called tank, which means there are no coincidences.
I'm familiar.
So you came here to join me so unexpectedly, and there has to be a reason that you're here. So before we go any further, I think it's time for us to figure out why you are here, what we need to talk about, and what we are going to continue to circle back to throughout our entire time sipping together. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
All right, so I have my tarot cards here. These are the real tea. For tarot.
For those who can't see, they're beautifully worn and lived.
Believe it or not, this is my first deck, actually.
Wow.
My first deck.
Is it a Rider Whale?
It's a Rider-Waite-Smithy.
Sorry, I said that wrong.
No, it's
whale?
cute. I love whale.
I call it whale.
I've been thinking about whale songs. I have.
Okay.
I
Here
feel,
we go.
yeah,
We're
because it's
orbiting
really,
toward
you get into the
coincidence.
deepest bass. You know? If you think that you know a beat drop, wait until you hear whale song.
Yes, that's right.
really where
and
it
they
all
sing for pleasure, you know that.
Ooh!
There's no scientific research that says they're actually communicating. Sometimes they're communicating location, but often they're just singing for pleasure.
Oh my God,
which is
to
beautiful.
be a whale.
I know. Okay.
Okay, so my darling, I'm going to divide this into 3, and then you tell me which of these we should be working with. So feel them out, vibe them out. Middle. All right, let's see. What is Gus doing here? What do we need to talk about? What's our tea? Ooh! Four of Penties.
Oh,
Four
interesting.
of Penties.
Okay.
So the Four of Pentacles, Four of Penties for our friends at home joining us virtually for tea. So this card has a lot to do about what we are holding on to, even when it is time for us to let something go. So this often also speaks to opportunities that we're like, oh, this is satiating me, this is serving me, this is satisfying me. But if we are clinging on so tightly and white knuckling it, we're not really opening ourselves up to what else could be out there, what more possibilities are available for us. So something around the things that we are clinging on to, sort of like, you know, finding ourselves maybe overly attached to. Gus, as I say that, what comes up for you? What are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about like jobs, like career, and specifically money.
Yeah, money.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I hear in the Pentacles. That's about material goods and wealth.
Yeah.
And so I think what I hear in it is the clutching of opportunities that maybe could provide wealth, or being more like working too hard to focus on those things rather than letting things go and letting more come in.
Yeah, and I would say even like sometimes that sensation of feeling like in order for us to, you know, feeling like this is as good as it's going to get. So I don't want to challenge the status quo and the infrastructure of what I have currently because I feel safe. And there's a lot of safety things in your chart. And we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
There's a lot of like, I like to feel safe and I feel best when I'm safe. And we love it. You know, we only want you to feel safe. But when we expand the parameters of what safety is and then ultimately find the safety of all, which is the one within, then it gives us permission to be a little more experimental and be a little more playful and take a few more risks.
Yeah.
So we're going to come back to that because that's obviously, it's tank. There are no coincidences. It's going to come up and be pervasive throughout our whole party. But let's get into your chart now.
Okay.
So you were born during Lionsgate portal.
I sure was.
8/8.
Yes.
But not just 8/8. You were born 8888. Why are you so obsessed with the number 8?
I don't know. I was called to fill the number 8. And there's 8 letters in my first full name and 8 letters in my last name.
So what does 8 signify to you? Like, how have you seen it show up in your life? Or what is like your birthday, Lionsgate? Do you know the lore?
I don't know the lore a lot. I end up reading about it every year on my birthday because everyone's like, oh my God, Lionsgate portal. And I'm like, yes. And I think what I've come to understand from it, or what has been significant for me in reading it, is just it's like a charged time for manifesting, which I think birthdays for me historically have always been very reflective. Like I don't do well, even though I love attention, I don't do well with a big party on my birthday. I really go internal and I like to reflect and think about what I'm doing. And so I think manifestation is a big part of that. And all I've understood from the Lionsgate portal is that like the soil is prime. The soil is fertile for any manifestation you want to do around that time. So I've just sort of taken it as an encouragement to go harder on that and deeper on that.
I love it.
But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I just used 8 everywhere I go for, you know, if I'm picking a number for something, obviously. Not that any of my passwords are that.
Okay, so you are a Leo sun, you are an Aquarius rising, and a Cancer moon.
Yeah.
What do you know about your birth chart?
Well, I know that, and then I know some of where the other planet placements are, but I know that the parts of Leo that I really respond to are having attention on me. It's why I'm a performer. I've always been a performer. When I was young, I was the class clown.
Oh, what was that like?
It came from like a depressed feeling different and other than everyone, but then the way that I sort of dealt with it was to make everyone laugh. But I was also the Cancer moon part of me who connects to people by talking about my feelings. I feel so aloof at a party if we're doing small talk, I will die. I will be like exhausted by the end of it. I can do it. I'm good at socializing, but I do not enjoy it. I need to do this where we like go in deep and we're like, so what's going on?
Period.
That's like, and so like Pisces, all my favorite people, all my best friends are Cancers or Cancer moons or Pisces moon. You've got to have water in your chart, and then we'll go deep. And I love it.
That's it. That's it. That's the tea.
And that's the tea,
That's
honey.
the tea. You got to have water in your chart.
Yeah, and I grew up going to the ocean, so water's like a big part of my life. We're made of like, what, 80, 90% water? So like, it's all moving around.
Yeah.
I was also I am very empathetic. I'm very sensitive to other people's feelings. Sometimes to a fault. I become a people pleaser and can like throw myself away to make you feel better if I sense that something's off. But I'm very intuitive in that way. And you've talked about this with like Cancer moon placements or water sign placements, that you can sort of have a psychic ability or at least an intuitive sense of what's happening.
Yes, yes. It's your lunar food.
Yeah.
So the moon, since it represents your emotional inner world, it's like what feeds you, honey.
Yeah.
And like if it's the moon in a water sign, you are being fed by your emotions and your intuitions.
Yeah.
Cancer moon, Scorpio moon, Pisces moon, like these are our psychic witches, no doubt about it. And when I see it in a chart, I'm like, bingo, hello, clock in, like let's get there and figure out how to get you there.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know that you're psychic and you have this placement, like we got to backtrack.
That's right.
We got work to do.
Yeah. And I don't know if would ever have called myself psychic. Maybe someone like you, I would be like, absolutely, 100% T, she's psychic.
Is it because of my hat?
Probably because of the hat and the eyelashes, like, I think are also doing that for me.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think when I was young, I was really sensitive to, like, other people feeling bad, so I would make myself the clown and make people laugh, so I'd always want to be the one who's getting the last laugh. So, like, get the worst grade on the test so that no one else was getting a bad grade.
Aww.
Like, fail at the soccer field and make everyone laugh so that no one else felt bad.
Aww.
And it was sweet and tender and well-meaning, but what it did is I like abandoned myself a lot when I was young and just like didn't give myself any respect or love. I was just like trying to take care of others.
Well, it's tea actually, because when I was looking at your chart and thinking about how I wanted to come into, yes, please, enjoy the beauty of your unique, gorgeous snapshot of the sky, I was thinking a lot about how you have an Aquarius rising and a Leo sun. And also, you know, your Mercury, which is communication, is also right next to your sun. But that Aquarius rising, Leo sun, opposite axis, because your rising is your perspective on reality. So as an Aquarius rising, you are seeing the world through the eyes of others. You are seeing the world as a place of community, of connection, thinking about these really bigger, sort of like, you know, experimental, radical, different ideas. But that isn't always how a Leo needs to be received and validated, right? Because to be a Leo, to be the sun, it's like, I just have to shine, honey. Like, I'm not trying to rock the boat here.
No.
Just like, give me an applause, give me some praise, give me attention.
Yeah.
But because you can also see the sort of like collective energy as an Aquarius rising, the Leo sun all the way on your descendant means that you need other people in order for you to be able to see yourself. And partnership, connection, your relationships is your access point into that Leo sensibility. So it makes sense to me that in school, you know, when this was still like forming before you have really like cultivated it, that it's like, oh, like for the collective, I'll be the jester.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to be Leo royalty at the end of the day because there's no one fucking funnier than me.
That's right.
But now as an adult person, we're still being mindful of how you relate to your environments, because that Aquarius rising is always trying to figure out what's actually going on here. Where do I fit in, right? It's air energy. So it's like you're feeling the room, and then you're trying to find where you land as a Leo sun. But we have to always think about who we are in relation to. And getting your confidence from others is a big part of having that, being on that axis, right? So you need to make sure that you're with people who really see you and support you rather than people who, you know, just like don't get it. Don't get it. See one side of you, or worse, like are using your energy to feed and fuel themselves. It happs. The energy vampires are real, Gus.
Yeah.
They're around us.
Yeah, there's so much in what you just said. I'm overwhelmed. That was so well said. That was very intuitive.
It's a really interesting, I mean, that access is fascinating to me, Aquarius Leo, right? How do you represent both the people who are revolting against the kingdom and then also be the king?
I mean, it's why I love doing comedy. Like, I'm on stage, and so I'm getting the performing part of it. But the service of comedy, I think, is to speak to the larger systems that are at play that we can all relate to. Like, especially my comedy, I'm always trying to basically poke at the most embarrassing or humiliating part of myself and put it in front of me. And then people really relate to it. They're like, oh my God, I relate to that. And that's like a beautiful communal experience. But at the end of it, I'm also on stage still getting that performing moment.
Right. I mean, it's the structure of what you were doing as a kid.
Yes.
As an adult.
But in a professional setting.
Professionally,
yes.
Getting paid. It's so tank. There are no coincidences.
That's right.
Because the next item that I wanted to talk to you about was the fact that you have just been having your nodal return.
I have?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Surprise.
Can you tell me more about that?
Of course I can. So your nodal return is a very big deal.
Okay.
And it's when the nodes of destiny and fate, past lives, yes. This is when we needed the pearls.
Tighten my...
Yeah, tighten.
Keep this hat on. Okay.
Comes back around.
Yes.
It only happens every 18 years. It has to do with you being totally and completely connected with your karmic path moving forward. So I was looking at your chart, and this journey for you started September 2024. And since then, and we still have some more eclipses to go. This is going to continue all the way until next February, March. You have been going through this process of what? Becoming an artist. Because you have your North Node in Pisces in the first house of self. And that is so much about you arriving as an artist, a creative, a spiritual seeker, a weirdo, like someone who is truly doing your own thing miles and miles ahead of everyone else. And instead of feeling like you are different in a bad way for it, you're like, I'm actually different in a really sexy, cute, hot, interesting way for it. So like watch this space because you couldn't even imagine what I have been cooking.
Wow.
And that is what the journey has been. And looking at the timing, I was thinking something perhaps September 2025, last year.
Yep.
That timing, important, significant. What was going on in your life then?
That was the first show that I did with Nick Kroll in my hometown. I went back to the theater that I grew up performing in, and he and I did a show together at that theater, and my whole hometown came out. Shout out to Mill Valley.
Yes, Mill Valley.
And that was a really significant moment because he's been a big supporter and almost like a comedy doula to me of like ushering me into whatever the next version of my kind of live performance is. So
wow.
That's a really significant time in my life. I remember that month very well.
Yeah. Well, that was when
Tank baby.
There was a lunar
tea.
eclipse and it totally locked in on this nodal return.
Wow.
And you're not going to have this return again for another 18 years. So this is like really, truly a defining part of your identity, of your karma, of your purpose moving forward.
Oh my God.
Such a big deal. Yes.
Aliza.
And it's about being an artist.
Yeah.
Also, like, tea for later is that Nick Kroll also a Gemini.
I didn't know that. I don't know his chart. Nick, I've got to know your chart. You got to send me your birthday.
Nick, come to a tea party.
Come to the tea
Come
party.
to the tea party. We'll talk.
That's also when shortly after that, I was on Stumble, which you mentioned, the TV show. That was my first TV show, too. So it was like that was a big seminal couple months of new beginnings for me.
And what did that feel like for you?
Utter relief. I was like, it was what you're describing. Because I remember coming off stage with Nick and he was like, how was that? And I was like, amazing. I mean, actually what I did was I was like, yeah, more. But I think both of those moments were really significant and feeling relief of like finally being seen the way I wanted to be seen.
Yeah.
After years of serving tables and not being seen how I wanted to be seen.
Okay, now we have to talk about your Cancer moon.
Okay.
So you have a Cancer moon.
I do.
So tell us, why are you so obsessed with your mother, and why should we be too?
Read me. I love my mom because she knows me better than anyone. I love my mom because she was my comfort. It was like how I felt safe, protected. She thought I was very intuitive when I was young. She tells a story of when she would go travel to go see her parents in Chicago. I would start wailing, crying the night before she would leave, and like be like inconsolable.
And you didn't know she was leaving?
No, I knew she was leaving, but she was getting on a plane, and I would just be so upset that she was leaving because I didn't want to be away from her. But she would always feel these like horrible pangs of like, is he seeing something? Like, should I not be getting on a plane right now? Like,
spooky.
Yeah, she would get a little worried, even though that's not what I was thinking about. It was
You
just
missed your mommy.
Yeah, but it was so intense
Yeah.
that she was like, is something else happening here? Is he intuitive? Because I was told when I was young, with the birthday, there was like all this kind of like old soul energy.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure the
me.
psychics love you.
Yeah. There are no coincidences. She would have tea parties like this because she was a school teacher, so she would be at home in the afternoons when I would come home, and she would always have tea with her friends.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God,
like
I love. Okay, so that's a lot
returning.
of good reasons to love your mom. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you know, and for our friends joining us virtually, that a Cancer moon, like there is not a placement that signals more mommy things than a Cancer moon. Another thing that I think is very important to know about with Cancer moons is I have never met a Cancer moon that does not need to periodically from time to time run naked in the woods.
Yes.
So yes, for you, Gus, pray
What's my
tell,
version?
what's yours?
I spend a lot of time in the woods. I live in the woods now. We don't live in the city anymore, my boyfriend and I. And that's on purpose. I love to be in the woods. I recently got a Reiki session, and my Reiki healer was like, you need to be leaning on some trees, honey. And I was like, yes. She was talking about my hip injury, but she was like, that's what you need.
Interesting.
That's my, so I
it's literal.
quite literally will go into the woods. Not nude necessarily. Have I done that? Probably at some point. Yeah, I have to cut loose a lot. I spend a lot of time outside with music on or no music. Dancing is really important to me, just like cutting loose.
Yeah,
so
yes.
That's how I tap into
I
that.
love it because I feel like when we talk about Cancer moons, we often talk about the nurturing and the sort of like protective, hermetic qualities of a Cancer moon. They're hermit crabs.
Yeah.
But what is often overlooked is the wildness of a Cancer moon. And the moon, when it's in its home base, in Cancer is wild. It is like truly just like watching a nature documentary, baby. Like it's like going there.
Yeah.
So for you to know that like you are free, you can do what you want to do. Obviously you have these ties, the ties that bind, but those ties that bind like are also your liberation to experiment and explore and do things your own way.
Yeah.
Like you are not supposed to just be living one dimension of reality. You are famously in a Nancy Meyers relationship with my friend, famous chef Dan Pelosi, aka Grossy Pelosi. We love Dan.
We do.
But he is a Gemini. And Billie Eilish just recently went on record saying that she hates Gemini men. So as the partner to a Gemini, can you please, to camera, defend Geminis and set the record straight?
Billy, you're wrong.
Ooh!
That's not been my experience. I haven't dated a Gemini before Dan, but I think my experience of Dan is not so much the Gemini, it's more the other placements in his chart. He's a Taurus rising and a Taurus moon. And that, to me, is my experience of him. The dominant part of him is around objects and home and feeling connected to himself through a calm space that is all the things he loves through objects. But he's also, the way he shows love is through cooking and acts of service. But the Gemini part, I don't know. I guess he's an amazing socializer. Like when he wants to be on, he's wonderful and can hold a room. That's why he's doing what he's doing. And the air part of it, he's not, that's where I'm like, he's not like up where I am with Aquarius stuff where I'm like constantly thinking about the bigger picture of things and asking huge lofty questions. He's like, I don't need to do that. I'm down here like earth rooted.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess my argument for would be it's a wonderful sign based on the other placements that anchor it.
You're like, look elsewhere.
Yeah, look elsewhere.
No need to focus on the Gemini.
Yeah, because I think they do get a bad rap, much like when you say Scorpio and everyone goes, oh, no.
Yeah.
Like, I don't totally know what the oh, no is.
Yeah, I mean, Geminis and Scorpios are probably the two signs that have the most misconceptions around them. And also, like, our poor Geminis and Scorpios, they reveal their sign and people balk at them.
Yeah.
They start, like, immediately poking to figure out if they are the root of all evil.
Right.
And, like, if you're poking, you're going to find it, but that's because you're poking someone to figure out if they're, like, truly a monster. So then there's going to be a monster there, duh.
Exactly.
But I do feel like a lot of the Gemini hate comes from the not understanding of the fact that Gemini, as the first air sign of the zodiac, is the first time that we are figuring out how we interact in the world. And it's like literally giving preschool. You know, it's giving turns on the slide. It's giving like figuring out how to share and take turns and also finding your voice, which also means that there's going to be a lot of like, no, we don't say that, honey. You have to say sorry. Like you have to like, yeah, please, you know, go to your friend and let them have a turn because you're learning.
Yeah.
And Gemini, as these like very curious air signs, are always in a state of discovery. You know, they're always figuring out, what can I say? What can't I say? What can I get away with here? What are the boundaries? Where can I push them just a little bit? And then when they get in trouble, they're like, it's not that serious.
Yes.
Which is very charming. But then when you are a Gemini president, very disturbing.
Yeah, we don't need that in a leadership position.
No.
We need a
this
little
isn't
more
the place
calculated
for preschool.
thought. Yeah, but I think it works in service. When you say that, what I think of in Dan is the way that he is such a singular and unique voice in the food space, and that's why it's been so exciting to watch him, is like he holds his entire being and then just like lets it rip and he's not holding himself back or thinking too hard about it. And he'll learn, and he's certainly receptive after if someone's like, actually, no. But he's also not afraid to not be for everyone, which I really admire and have watched and learned a lot from. So that makes a lot of sense to me, the sort of like trial and error.
The trial and error.
As he says famously to me, fuck around and find out, which I'm like, what's that like,
like
to live that way?
Yeah.
But he's like, that's how I do it.
No, and that is really like what we can all learn from Geminis is that, yes, there might be repercussions, but like how bad are they going to be?
Right.
You still get to play.
Yes.
You know, at the end of the day.
That's how you learn where you're going, and that's how you like do the next new cool thing.
Yes. And then just to give our Scorpios also a moment here, since we acknowledge that they also are struggling in the public.
Sure.
We need new PR for all of these signs.
We really do. How do you rewrite years and years of just like a sweeping generalization about
Kris Jenner.
Kris Jenner.
That's it. She's a Scorpio.
Wait, and so we use Kris Jenner as an example of...
No, she gets on it.
Oh, she
adopts Gemini and Scorpio as zodiac signs, puts a K over them, turns them into her daughters, and then changes the public image through time.
Yeah, and makes merch about it.
And makes merch and makes
whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if Kris Jenner was on it, then we would get to know them in a different way.
That's right.
And sometimes they would still be challenging, but otherwise we would know them as the family that redefined culture. So Scorpio is the middle water sign. And people, when they don't know about astrology, may think, because Scorpio is so intense, that it's a fire sign because it's so powerful and it's so passionate. But because it is water, it uses its emotions as hydraulics. So it's the sign that is able to actually like churn its intuition and energy and direct it, which is very powerful and also can be very scary and intense, which is why Scorpios have this like obsession with power and secrets and trust. But it's not ultimately coming from this place of suspicion as much as it's coming from this place of figuring out the systems so that they know how to use their intuition properly.
They would make great actors, I would think.
Great actors. There are, I mean, Anne Hathaway, Adam Driver.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
Emma Stone.
Yep.
I can keep going.
These are great actors. Yeah. I mean, I always, you know, the obvious one is like Leos love to be actors because of attention. But like what you're describing, I'm like, oh, honey, feel it and then use those emotions.
Use
and
it.
Like,
yeah, it's giving Meisner.
Yeah, it's giving Meisner. Exactly. Imbue the text. Okay, actress. I didn't know your background in Meisner. Tea, mommy.
Speaking of tea.
Yeah.
We're getting to the end.
Okay.
But before we go, do you have any tea that you can share with us? And we promise we won't tell anyone.
What kind of tea do you want?
The hottest one you have.
Well, it is interesting, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a full moon on May 1st recently.
Yes.
That
full
was
moon in Scorpio.
In Scorpio.
Yes.
And it was taking something away, as full moons do.
Mm-hmm.
That was the day I found out that Stumble, the TV show that I was on, was canceled.
This is tea.
That's public tea. That's on tea. Stumble got canceled. Shout out to the Stumble family. Roll buttons, roll. It's a wonderful show, and we will find our home. It's not supposed to be on NBC anymore.
I mean, what is on NBC?
Literally.
So that's also like the collapse of the entertainment industry is tea.
Mm-hmm. So I think that was being taken away in a very obvious way because it was like it's a big job and a wonderful job financially also. Like it's just like great money and security. And so that's also what I thought of when you pulled that car out, the grasping. Because I didn't feel that though. When it was taken away, I was truly like, there are no coincidences. Like,
let it go.
We're not supposed to do that.
And then on
that's
a full
fine.
moon, it's like, release it, of course, which is also true.
Yeah, and so that's what that felt like is like, don't clutch.
Don't clutch.
That's what I'm hearing from it is like, we don't need to clutch. Like, if it's money or if it's a material thing like a job like that, it goes out and it comes back in naturally.
Yes. I would say that that's very hot tea.
Is that piping hot?
I think it's piping hot.
To me, I heard tea was something from my breast pocket that you hadn't seen because that tea
is public information.
And so it just didn't feel like
but
piping hot.
But it's tea because full moon.
So there was another full moon that was related to this one. I think I saw it somewhere in the void of the internet, or it came to me that November 5th of the previous year.
Yes.
Do you know about this?
I think it was my video.
I think it was your video.
Yes.
Was it you? It was you who said, go look in your photos on November 5th.
Yes.
Oh my God, of course it was you. Duh. So I went back and looked at my photos. November 5th, first day on set at Stumble.
Stop.
That's tea, honey.
Wait.
And then May 1st, the show is canceled and taken away.
And I also want to say that the Gemini of it all is that your Jupiter is in Gemini. And Jupiter is the planet of luck and expansion and fortune. So it's no wonder that you have these like auspicious Gemini relationships in your life. Dan, Nick.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Maybe my dad, if you ever meet him, he's a Gemini.
Can't wait to meet him.
Yeah.
I will. It's
Why
like
not?
inevitable at this point.
Exactly.
Like, that's coming, obviously.
I can't believe you haven't yet.
Yeah. Maybe I have in a past life.
Probably.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
Gus, thank you so much.
Satisfying. Oh, I know what I want to leave that's tea for me.
Please.
That I didn't get to say because I'm a fan. When I read your book, the thing that stayed with me for so long and I think about a lot with astrology was if it's in your heart, it's in your chart. And just like that as a way to look at astrology or tarot, which is like, it's you first. It's like this thing is pulling something from your subconscious that already exists. It's not about looking to these things for answers, but it's like reflecting back positive guidance of like, honey, you already know this.
Yes.
Like these things that we talked about, and like I immediately have these significant things in my life that I'm like, that's what it's talking about. And you're like, yes, it is.
Yes.
I appreciate that so much, and I think that's such a wonderful gift that you've given all of us. So thank
Gus,
you for
it's
that.
so sweet. Thank you. Yes, I think that astrology is the most amazing medicine. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's, ultimately at the end of the day, everybody needs to be seen wearing a little hat.
Yes.
And that's what this AstroloTea is all about, baby.
That's
making
right.
sure that everyone here has their own cup, a seat at the table.
I'm honored to be the first guest
You
at the tea party.
You're my first
May
guest.
there be many, many more. Enjoy your seat at the table.
Amen. So mote it be.
Cheers.